Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, it's really tough. We're diving into why building intimate, close relationships can feel downright impossible for survivors of complex trauma. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt that deep, aching desire for connection? You want to be close to someone more than anything? But then, almost against your will, you feel this massive urge to push them away, to run. If that sounds familiar, I really need you to hear this. That is not a flaw in you. You are not broken. That push-pull thing you do, it's actually a feature of a survival system that you once desperately needed to keep you safe. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why this happens. We'll get into the weeds, look at the psychological roots of it all, and most importantly, we are going to talk about a real, actual path toward healing and finding that healthy connection you're looking for.
Okay, so our journey really starts with this big foundational conflict. It's something pretty much every young adult goes through, but it gets incredibly complicated when trauma's part of your story.
You know, the psychologist Erik Erikson, he called this the sixth stage of our development. It's that time, usually in our late teens and early 20s, where we feel this powerful, totally natural drive to form deep, meaningful, intimate bonds. And if we can't, the alternative is this profound sense of isolation.
And this, right here, is the tragic paradox for a trauma survivor. You have that exact same healthy, innate desire for closeness that everybody else does. But that desire runs headfirst into a brick wall, the internal damage left by your past, the shame, the mistrust, the nervous system that's just always on high alert. You want love, but your toolbox for building it is just empty. So, that brings us to a really crucial point. The very tools that helped you survive your past are now the very things sabotaging your present.
Think about it. The coping mechanisms you had to develop to get through a dangerous environment are completely at odds with what you need for a safe, loving one. The source material for this explainer puts it perfectly. The very tools that kept them alive now block their intimacy.
And you can see this conflict playing out so clearly. To survive, maybe you had to learn to just numb out your emotions. But that same numbness now makes it impossible to be vulnerable. That hypervigilance that kept you safe from danger, now it just makes you overreact to a simple disagreement. And people-pleasing, which was a way to keep threatening people calm, now means you hide your true, authentic self from the very person you want to love you.
You see, it's never just one thing, is it? Complex trauma leaves this whole constellation of internal blockers. There's a distorted self-concept that's constantly whispering that you're unlovable. Your nervous system is on a 24/7 neighborhood watch for threats. Your primary motivator becomes fear, not love. And your fundamental beliefs about what a relationship even is are all skewed. Your ability to trust, to set a simple boundary, it's been shattered.
And that's the absolute tragedy of it all. To get through what you went through, you basically had to turn off the very parts of yourself that are essential for real connection. Your vulnerability, your ability to trust, and your capacity to just be yourself. So, what happens when you're starving for connection, but you don't have any of the right tools? Well, you try to create an illusion of intimacy.
This is what we call pseudo-connection. It's basically a bunch of strategies that are all aimed at manufacturing the feeling of being close, because the real thing just feels way too scary or out of reach. It's like taking a shortcut that never ever gets you where you actually want to go.
And this can show up in a few classic ways. You might rely on that intense fireworks-level chemistry, mistaking that rush of brain chemicals for a real deep bond. Or maybe you use sex like a kind of glue, trying to patch things up after a fight or just feel close for a little while. Some people try love bombing, just overwhelming a partner with affection to feel loved back. And then there's fawning, where you basically erase yourself and become a clone of your partner, sacrificing everything just to feel that sense of connection. But all of these, they're just desperate attempts built on a foundation of sand.
Okay, I know this all might sound incredibly bleak, but I promise you, understanding the why is the first most crucial step to figuring out the how. There is a path forward, but it might not be the one you're expecting. And this leads us to a massive, really profound shift in perspective. The healing journey, it is not about an endless search for that one magical person who's going to fix you. It's about pausing that search, turning inward, and doing the hard but necessary work to heal yourself so you can show up whole in a relationship.
Now, this is tough advice to hear, I get it, because that pull for intimacy is so strong. But often, the first real step is to just abstain from dating for a while. Maybe it's a year. You commit that time to your own healing. Then, when you do feel ready, The absolute key is to go slow. So slow. Healthy intimacy cannot be rushed. And you know, a brilliant way to prepare is to practice these new skills like being authentic, setting boundaries, learning to trust, in your friendships first. Think of them as your training grounds for healthy connection.
And then, when you are ready to connect with someone romantically, you get to approach it with a whole new playbook. You learn to actually listen to your gut. You consciously, intentionally look for red, orange, and green flags. You start to prioritize character, their kindness, their values, how they treat the waiter, way more than that initial spark of chemistry. And when you do feel that spark, you don't have to leap. You can just watch for a while. See if the attraction actually grows as you get to know the real person.
So I want to leave you with a way to reframe this entire journey. What if the goal isn't this frantic, desperate search to find love? What if, instead, the goal is the patient, profound, and powerful work of becoming ready for it?